Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes. Good
Very
evening.
good. Very good. Good evening, all.
Yes, yes.
Hello
Yeah, you're
everyone.
audible. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Miss
Good
Fazlı, hello.
morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm glad to welcome you all to our 13th International Training Session. Thank you for taking the time to join us from different parts of the world. I'm Fazla and I will be the host for today's session. And it's my immense pleasure to introduce our trainer, Mr. Murat from Oman. Mr. Murat is an ELT teacher and lecturer with 28 years experience. His experience covers from primary school to tertiary level students. He is a holder of BA in English Language, MA in American Culture and Literature, and CELTA. He is currently a Delta Module 1 candidate. We are truly honored to have you here, sir. Before we begin, let's quickly go over our rules. Please keep your microphone muted during the session so we can avoid background noise. You can use the chat box to share your thoughts and comments. We will have a question and answer segment at the end of the session. You can ask your questions at that time. Without any delay, let's welcome Mr. Murat. Sir, I'll turn it over to you now.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my small webinar called Critical Thinking in the Classroom. And I'm very happy to meet with you and share my experience about my classroom experience about critical thinking. Okay? In this webinar, I'm going to talk about what critical thinking is, and then some usage about it, and then what's the teacher's role and the student's role. First of all, what is this critical thinking? Okay, critical thinking is a complex process, okay, involving the knowledge you have, your understanding of the text, inference, the application of the knowledge, analysis, which means looking from different angles, synthesis to formulate an argument, and then evaluation, which is the end product. Okay. In other words, okay, critical thinking is the embodiment of the sentence. There is always another way, okay, to support and contradict. How can we use critical thinking? We have some ideas, we have some similar ideas, and we have the same ideas with some other people. However, we can support our argument in different ways than other people. Okay, that's why we can use critical thinking. Also, we can use our critical thinking skills to contradict, which means you disagree with other people, and then you tell people why you disagree. And again, there could be some people who disagree with it. You also disagree with them, and you can find other points, other angles, other point of views to contradict the argument. And then critical thinking is our effort to find the other way. That's why I wrote here, we try to find the other way or other ways. Sometimes critical thinking is a little bit mixed up with creativity. Okay, and that's why I'd like to talk about this for some time here. Critical thinking, as I have put here, it is about analyzing the information and ideas by breaking down into smaller components to evaluate their accuracy, validity, relevance, and completeness. Creative thinking, on the other hand, is characterized by fluidity, flexibility, and originality. Now, what I mean by this, okay, when we apply critical thinking skills into a task in our hand, okay, we always make these arguments into small pieces, and then we look at from different angles to understand that our ideas, are they accurate? Are they valid? Are they relevant to what we want? And then are they fully ready? However, creative thinking is you, as all the people, okay, try to find some original ideas about something, and then you try to bend it, you be a little bit flexible, okay? And then if you don't like one idea, you can just scratch it and then take another idea, okay? What it means by fluidity. If you don't like that, then you can delete it. However, critical thinking is, as I have said here, okay, we have analysis and synthesis and evaluation. Okay, but in creative thinking, we don't have that. Where is the teacher and where is the student in this critical thinking tasks? Okay, this is 100% student-centered approach. Okay, the student is given all the necessary instructions and materials, and then we want from the students an end product. Okay, I'm going to give a list of the end products in a couple of minutes. Okay. Not teacher-centered, okay, not material-centered. It is pure student-centered approach. We want the students to come up with something they haven't thought about it before. That's the way of critical thinking, okay? The student comes up with new ideas, supported by their arguments, and then they work on these arguments. That's the most important one. That's why it is different than creative thinking. When the student has an argument, he or she checks this argument. Is it valid or not? Okay. Now, how we can apply critical thinking tasks in the classroom? Mainly, we have 4 different ways to do that. Number 1, self-critical thinking, which you can also say individual critical thinking tasks. You can pair with one of the person in the classroom, and then you can make it a pair work activity, or 3 and more people. It can be group critical thinking activity, and you can make it class-wide critical thinking tasks. Okay, and when there is this class critical thinking tasks, okay, you have to come a little bit prepared, okay, so that the giving instruction time, okay, should be as clear as possible, so that when the students start doing the the tasks, okay, there should be no question marks in their mind. Okay.
So we have a question in the comment section.
Let me check. Just a minute. I'm going to just a minute. Appreciate it. How can we make students more critical thinkers? Okay. Thank you very much for this question, Mr. Said. Okay. First of all, you have to bring to the classroom a lot of critical thinking activities. Okay, and then there are some. I have some tasks in front of you. I'm going to show you what these tasks are. Okay. You can give students tasks, and then you can, if you want, individual pair work. Okay, and there are some very specific questions. Simple, you can say, why do you think like that, and how would you do that? So these 2 questions, okay, can make them, okay, think critically about the task in hand. So simple, these 2 questions. However, as a teacher, okay, you have a little bit of, how can I say, more responsibility about this, because you have to work these questions before you come to the classroom. You have to take some notes about it, okay, and then what kind of questions are you interested in to ask? So I advise you bring the questions to the classroom. I can only right now tell you to utilize the questions why and how. The rest becomes the rest belongs to you. There are some questions here. Sorry. There are some tasks, okay, and then we can talk about them in detail. Is this okay, Mr. Syed? What do you think?
Yeah, thank you very much. I got it. It's really nice, and I hope it's fine. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Now I'm going to show you the activities. Okay. From now on, I'm going to give the microphone to you. Okay, dear listeners and watchers. Okay. How can you start this activity? This critical thinking activity is here are the things. Let's talk about them. For example, you can make a small talk. You can start a small talk, or you can make a small introduction with or without using the board, okay? And then maybe you make them listen a short text or make them watch a video. You can give a small reading text. Sometimes just really one sentence is enough to start a critical thinking activity, or you can just present the picture. If you want, you can print the picture and give the picture to the students, or you can just use some kind of a projector and then show the picture. Okay. Any ideas, dear attendees? Do you have any other way of starting and critical thinking task? I'm
Yeah,
going
you can use probing questions.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all in the form of like brainstorming. Like we can just make students to generate their ideas openly. And like, for example, if a teacher is standing in front of students at grade 8 or 9 or 10, so at that level, students somehow may feel confused. So if as a teacher, we give open environment, so then student can come up with the open ideas. As you have mentioned, very good point right here. So yeah, that could be a picturestic story to make any sort of stories based on the picture immediately. That's one of the effective strategies to improve the critical thinking of the students.
Mhm. Thank you very much. Okay.
You are
Mhm. Okay. Now, next one. Okay. I have found some activities for critical thinking. Okay. I'm not sure about my audience, so I try to bring some activities covering nearly all age groups. Okay, so the first one is that maybe I have right now in the audience KG teachers. Okay, so here are the activities that you can use. For example, a puzzle game. You can use art and craft. Okay, maybe it's an outdoor exploration. Okay, what about Rubik cube? Okay, or building with playing with building blocks. For example, let's talk about this puzzle games. Okay, you know, puzzles have sometimes 10 items, sometimes 1,000 items. So you have to always think about the size of the puzzle and the color code of the puzzle. Okay, they have lots of colors, so you have to find the matching ones, and then always asking, no, this doesn't fit, this fits, that doesn't fit. So this is a very small example about that. And outdoor exploration, okay, when you take the students outside for, it can be a park, it can be a museum, okay, it can be a zoo, and then you can ask the two important questions: why do they have that, and how do they do that? Okay, you can ask questions about the plants, you can ask questions about the animals, okay, and this Rubik cube. Let's talk about this. For example, does anybody have a Rubik cube in my audience? Do you play with your Rubik cube?
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
Sir, you explained very well and splendid it was. So I'm going to add something. Here we talking about early childhood, age 3 to 6. But if you think the cognitive system of the child, so the child should rest until 5 years. After 5 years, because we do not load to the child to think about the critical thinking. It's not for a child, a 5 years old child. Above we can use this term to think about this. Yeah, when in the last lot of school system, classroom management system, there's above 5 years is to age students, they will get the admission until there's implemented a lot of countries they followed because of the child brain is not so far work and negatively it works a lot. So in this age, in the 5 years age, we cannot the focus or the force to the child to think about a critical. I as far as I know. Thank you, sir.
No, I understand that, really. Thank you. However, look, that's the point. We don't use absolutely the word critical thinking, or we don't say critical thinking task. Okay, we just bring them and these activities to the classroom, and we want them to work out the task. It is like flow of water. They will immediately check themselves. This site doesn't fit, that site doesn't fit. Okay, what can I do? Teacher, can you help me? Teacher, my friend, what is this? What is that? How can we do? For example, art and craft. Okay, maybe you make paper folding. Paper folding has, for example, specific rules, and then when you finish, it comes out with a great product. And then if something's gone wrong, you can immediately ask, why did this happen? And then the student immediately goes back into the steps of making, and then finds where the how can I say, wrong folding, for example. I mean, that the critical thinking task. Okay, just we don't tell them toward critical thinking. But really, thank you very much for your participation. Okay, next one, age 7 to 11. Okay, engage in writing activities, conduct debates and
Excuse me,
discussions.
sir.
Yes, please.
Mr. Lukman has raised his hand.
Okay,
Lukman,
just
can you
a,
unmute yourself and talk?
just a minute. Sure, just a minute. Okay. Let's ask with Muhammad Danish. Muhammad Danish, yes, please.
I already asked a question, sir. Now it's the
Okay.
turn of Lukman. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
No problem. No problem. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Syed?
All right. Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. You're talking about childhood. Okay, so the question arises in my mind is something like about adult students, mostly who are a part of university lecturer or professors, or we can say any instructor. As an IELTS trainer, as I'm British examiner, I usually teach IELTS, TOEFL, and international standard test. So I found that most of the even though a student who is doing PhD from any university, I found in writing, when it comes to writing an essay or any sort of essay, whether that is a cause and effect essay or whether that is, a discussion essay or agree or disagreement or one-sided argument essay, I always find that most of the time, most professional, they're unable to convey their meanings, to convey their ideas in academic writing. I don't know why is that issue. Not even in Pakistan, across world. I had some students from China, from Korea. They're facing a lot of problem, even though in writing as well as in reading, they cannot even distinguish between the informations or ideas what they are thinking about that. So can you please shed a light on this issue? So why are they not critical thinker, even though they are holding PhD degrees or pursuing PhD degrees, but they're unable to express their thoughts like we can say intensively or academically? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for bringing this topic. This also happens in my own classes, and this is what this is my personal experience that I'm sharing with you. Here, for me, the most important word is the word refute. Everybody can discuss, everybody can support, but refutation is probably the most important point, okay, in all of this problem solution, cause and effect, and causal solutions. Okay, now, to your question, Mr. Syed, I tell my students that there must be, okay, something in you that you should talk about the things that you don't like, the things that you don't support. And I give an example. Here is the topic. Mr. Syed, can you please give me 5 positive effects after a car accident? When I ask this question to my students, they immediately look at me with empty eyes. Teacher, you are talking about a car accident, and then you want me to find opinions, and which are beneficial opinions, good effects, something positive about the car accident. And then I look at them. Yes, absolutely. Please find 3 or 2, never 1, 2 or 3 ideas about a car accident, and it must be positive. I give them maximum 10 minutes because it's like I am pushing them into the void. And then I want them to find the ideas which are somehow correct answers. Okay, Mr. Sayed, you ask me this question, and I'm going to answer. You ask me. Okay.
All right, so can you please, can you please repeat it again? So let me just listen to you, please.
Okay, ask me the question. Mr. Murat, please find 5 positive effects of a car accident.
All right, Mr. Murat, please find positive impact of car accident, please.
Yes. Number 1, if I am not dead, okay, I'm going to have a long break in the hospital. I'm going to stay. I'm not going to worry about the job. I'm not going to worry about my studies. Okay, all my relatives will come and visit me. Okay, and I'm going to see all of them. Okay, so that's I have said already 2 things. Number 1, rest from job, rest from work, and see all the family members. Number 2, it's a bad car accident. I am okay. I lost the car. What do? I go and buy a new car.
Yes,
And
that's absolutely great opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. And then who earns money from car accidents? Number 1, the police system, the law enforcement. Why? Because they work. They immediately go, and we give them a chance to do their job. Number 2, doctors and nurses, ambulance drivers. Okay. Number 3, insurance companies. Number 4, scrap metal guys. I have already said 7 points, 7 positive points about car accidents. However, Mr. Sayed, this takes time to take these ideas from the students. Okay. And this critical thinking, if I really want them to come up with great ideas, I start with step by step. Okay. First, I open them the perspectives. For example, if I do this activity in the classroom, okay, I write who are the stakeholders in the car accident. Approximately there could be something like 5 balloons in the classroom. So I write in the middle car accident, and then who are related with the car accident. I write them, and then when they look at this, let's say mind map or brainstorming activity, if I ask the question again, they would find their ideas faster than the previous time. Another step, if you and your students have a rapport between you and them, okay, and then if you train them in critical thinking next time, just with what you say, and then with shorter time, they would come up with great ideas. I am working in the university, so the time that I see my students is 3.5 months. So it's a good time to train my students. Okay. However, if you are teaching IELTS,
your explanations are well and splendid, but here is the pupil. 70% they always think negative, not positive. The students having the different kind of mind and brain, they use their brain and they use the questions. Sometimes the questions is not related to the topic. Then how the teacher manage these?
try to find really good topics from the book that you are using, okay, and you can rephrase them a little bit. But I completely agree with you that our mind, I mean the students' mind, we are teachers, we can look from extreme amount of angles. However, this critical thinking takes time. But when they learn how to think critically, it could be really fast. You have to endure unfortunate amount of time with coming up with no answer. But I advise you never give up. The first activity, it can be completely teacher guided, and then another activity teacher guided, another activity just guided, another activity guided, another activity guided, another activity. You can just give the task to the students and they would come up with that. What I can tell you is that if you give a topic to the students, please write who are related with this event. For example, my example, car accidents. Okay, give them this mind map, and then you can make a class-wide activity. When you think that class is ready, you can drop them into groups. When groups are okay, you can turn them into pair work activities. When they are really ready, you can give them self-critical thinking activities. But I completely agree with you. It's a really painful process, okay? Because unfortunately, our mind is always looking from one direction. You have to show them the other direction. That's why, like 5 to 10 minutes ago, I said, the students find somebody in themselves who can speak in a different way.
Sir,
Yes.
as we are running out of time, can we please focus on the slides first? At the end of the session, we can have a question and answer segment.
Of course, no problem.
And
Yeah, look.
Participants to note down their questions, and at the end of the session, we can ask them.
Sure.
Thank you,
Also, right now we are discussing this slide. We are here. I mean, I'm not moving anywhere. Okay, here, this one. Discuss, support, and refute. The refutation is, for me, the most important part in an essay writing. Why? Because some people tell you an argument, and then you make that argument invalid. That's why, for this, the students need critical thinking. How to do that? The answer to the question is choose a topic rich in ideas. That's what's important for all of us, rich. And then make the students identify the causes and offer solutions. Okay, this is for cause and effect. Okay, you can say make students identify the problems and then offer solutions. How can we apply critical thinking? Everybody can write solution, right? What if they don't like the solution of other students? You can immediately ask them, why don't you like this, your friend's solution? What's wrong in his or in her solution? And they will answer your question. And they will do it in a critical thinking way. Maybe they don't like the cause. Maybe the cause is wrong for you. Maybe there is a cause, how can I say? There is another cause. Then ask your students, why do you think like that? What makes you say that? These are basic but very strong sentences, questions about critical thinking. Okay, here are some topics that I have prepared for you. You can talk about news in social media, and also latest news about astronomy, biology, chemistry, cultural events, stories, fairy tales, especially endings of the fairy tales, AI and jobs, lifestyle, and combining two unrelated things together, which my example, what are the positive things, positive outcomes of a car accident? Positive and car accident, it never comes together. However, I can make it work with my students. Now, here are some questions, okay, of using critical thinking or making critical thinking tasks go really good. Okay, so here it is. What do you think about this? I tell you to turn the class and say, who agrees with this idea? And why do you say that? Anybody disagree with this? Why do you disagree? Okay, and then why do you think like that? And why do you say that? And then, for example, remember the starter topic, a short video or a text or a story. For example, what is your suggestion to end this text, a reading text or listening work? So, how do you end the text or the video or the story? And then, how do you finish the critical thinking activity? There should be an end product. It can be a speech, it can be a presentation, it can be a written text, or it can be a picture. Okay, a speech needs time because the student should write, okay, and then make some practice, do some little bit of pronunciation, okay, and some grammar points that you can check, okay. A presentation really takes a long time, okay, so you have to think about enlarging the critical thinking task into 2 days, for example, maybe a week. Okay, a written text. If you want a short text, you can finish it in the classroom. If you want a long text, you can just give it as a homework, or you can continue writing activity in the next lesson, or a picture. Okay, a picture is divided into two. You can make a student take a picture, or you can make them a picture using crayons or all other how can I say colorful pens and pencils. Now here is the end of the critical thinking task. Here we have to ask ourselves, okay, what is your definition of a success in a critical thinking task? Okay. Here you see the second line. Okay. Do you want the students just get the fish from the sea, or do you want to make your students learn how to fish? Do you want them learn fishing? So these two things are the central point in critical thinking task. My idea is that I want them to learn how to fish, so that in the next activities they can come up with really good ideas. Okay, so here is there are three definitions of a successful outcome. Number one, the product is important. Number two, process is important. Number three, product and process is important. For me, process is important because if I train them really well, and then if they learn how to work on critical thinking tasks, we will always have a good product, which comes from a good process. Now, where are we in this critical thinking task? Where are we, the teachers? Okay. First of all, we have to come up with a really good preparation. Okay. You should make your own research about the picture of your topic. Also, you should write some questions before you go to the class. Okay, and then you should plan the seating of the classroom, and then how are you going to use the board. Even you can plan to make which students sit with which students. Okay, you can also plan that one. Okay, and then you should feel comfortable in giving authority to students because they will talk. In the classroom, you can have a high amount of noise in the classroom, but this noise is a good noise because the students are working on to produce something. Okay, that's why you should feel comfortable about sharing your class authority with the students. Okay, and then you can walk in the class from time to time, okay, to check are they working or not. But okay, please always observe. Okay, are they really on the task? And then if they are not on the job, it depends on your rapport with the students. Okay, you can make them come back to the task. Okay, and then if they need help, never hesitate. Immediately go and ask what's wrong, and then give your maximum help about the question or the problem. Okay. And then if you are making a pair work or a group activities, please give voice to every team in the classroom so that nobody will be left behind. Okay, and then don't forget to give appraisal to the students. Okay, remember what is the successful outcome of your critical thinking. Is it the product or process? Okay, even if they're unsuccessful in doing something, never mind, because they started to think critically. That's why I wrote here, give appraisal to the students. And that's all from me about this critical thinking webinar. Now I'm ready to answer your questions. And here are my very short references. Now I'm going to go to the page. Yes.
Sir, you explained very well and splendid. It was no question, I think. You explained very, very good way. And the simple pieces, the constructism, like constructions way you explained it. And I got it, all the points. The teacher should be prepared before go to the classroom. Right. Thank you.
Absolutely. Because
thank you, sir. Thank you.
No problem. These critical thinking tasks are unfortunately full of frustrations. They can come up with ideas and you may not like them. Okay, maybe it is not that very high quality. Okay, that's why I mean you should come up with really good activities so they can work on it. How many times I am unsuccessful about critical thinking tasks, but remember, my point is the process. The process is very important for me. If I fix it, product will be always okay. Minimum okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Critical thinking has been and will be an important aspect in ELT. This session has helped us very much. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. Any more questions or ideas? You're free to unmute and ask your questions.
Mr. Ahmed, yes, please.
At first, it's a very nice topic. I like it very much about critical writing and so on. But in my teaching experience, the classes has a lot of the class has a lot of different levels in English. Maybe I find intermediate, beginners, or something like that, or high achievers inside the class, in the same class. So how can you deal with all the levels inside this processes of critical thinking? I think it's critical writing. It's for high achievers only. I cannot apply for the low achievers. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I don't agree with you. Okay, so I cut your
How
question.
How can I apply the critical writing with the low achievers?
Low achievers. Okay, you have to come up with them as basic as possible a topic so that they can handle. Okay, and then you should use your board to give them, look, not the opinion, but where the opinion can come from, which means I said stakeholders of the topic who are related about the topic, and then ask them to come up with ideas about the people, about the task. Low achievers, the high achievers in the same classroom. Just a minute. My point, my advice to you, my humble advice to you is that please put high achievers in a different team and low achievers in a different team.
So you mean give them a different topics?
No, give them the same topic. However,
how can
wait.
The critical must be on a high level. How can I deal with high level and low level or low achievers at the same time on the same topic? Maybe I'm gonna give them organize them as groups and give them different topics, but about something according to the levels. You know, in English, where I used to teach English as a language, not as a subject. So each one of the students has different levels, and maybe writing, speaking, and so on. So not all of students can speak, can write well. So in a critical writing, it's something for high achievers only. I think it's my opinion. It's for high achievers only. Okay. So if I organize a group for high achievers and low achievers, maybe concentrate with that. We're low achievers, and that make them like going back, not going forward. You know that. So they know that we low achievers, so we cannot do this thing. I think in my opinion, critical only for high achievers. Maybe I organize in my mind or my plan or something like that. For I get some topics not critical writing and give short topics or something like that for low achievers, and let the critical writing for high achievers only in the groups. But that's in my mind. All of them know we're in a critical writing. Maybe it's a solution for me. Okay, all of them know that we have, for example, the group is mixed between low achievers and high achievers. I think all the groups must be mixed between low achievers and high achievers. I cannot divide the groups in low achievers only and high achievers only. All the students know the levels, and I think it's gonna be I make them praised. We cannot write or something like that, because I have from the experience of teaching something like that. It happened with me before. I get some topics with critical writing and so on, or persuasive and or so on, or any kind of the high level of writing. So a lot of them cannot. So when I divide them, maybe it has a problem, big problem. It had a big problem before, because the low achievers know that we cannot do anything. They stop writing. They stop thinking about anything. They know we're not as good as the other. So in that time, I divide the classes into levels: the low achievers and the high achievers, that make the class so bad. All of them don't feel comfortable. You know that if a student, if the student showed that another student is better than me, or he's the best student, he trying to he wasn't praised. He cannot write anything. He think that maybe I'll make a lot of mistakes. So the best way not to write. That's actually happened with me. Okay, so after that, I learned from this.
I want to ask a question
mix
to you.
between
What is your target? Is the process or is the product?
the process, the process itself. I learned them the process, not the product. The product, he needs.
What is your teacher target about that specific critical thinking task? Was the process your focal point, or the product was your focal point?
I teach them, and I learned them to make the process itself, to learn how to make it. After that, I need the product. After a while, yeah, you teach them the processes, then you need the product after a while. Are you agree with me or not?
Yeah, I agree with you completely.
So, inside the process itself, they didn't know how to get some words. Maybe they have, we said, the lack of vocabulary. They didn't know a lot of vocabularies, so they cannot write. So I must start with them from the very beginning, how to write, how to make sentences, and so on. You know, I teach for ESL students, not EFL. So it's very, very difficult with them. Okay, I teach in Saudi Arabia now, and in a private school. Okay, so all the students, or the language here in Saudi Arabia is still the second language, not the first language. So they didn't have they didn't have the importance like the Arabic and so on. After a while, or from 2 years or 3 years, English is very important now in Saudi Arabia. So when you try to learn the students how to use the English language, it's going to be difficult for them. You know, the mind that they have about the English itself, you must change it. Okay, so I teach for secondary school, secondary boys, okay, or high school. So most of them cannot write. I don't speak about Saudi Arabia at all. I speak about some levels that I faced here. Maybe for international, it differs. I know that, but I speak about the common students here. So all of them, a little that they know a lot of English and they can use in English and so on. So if I'm gonna organize the class, or I'm gonna make a presentation for the class, maybe more than half of them cannot write well, cannot write with a good way. They write anything they know. Okay, so, and we have also inside the same class that I described to you, high achievers. I want to teach them, all of them, critical writing. Is that possible for all of them to write a critical writing?
First of all, what is the amount of this critical writing task? How many sentences, or how many? Yeah, what do you want?
The sentence is gonna be according to the level in English.
No.
You know,
I'm talking about the amount. How much do you want?
About what?
What is the amount of the product you're talking about? Do you want them to write a paragraph? Do you want to write
more? I say not a paragraph. Essay, yeah, of course essay, because the curriculum must write the essay. Okay, but actually, I don't ask them for essay.
How
To
much time do you have with these students?
teach the students
Yes. Is it 1 semester or 2 semesters?
for a year. It was 3 semesters before, but now 2 semesters.
Okay. So you have
Mm.
the same students for 2 semesters, right?
Yeah, teach them 2 semesters. Now it's just 1 semester.
I
I
see.
face this every year.
I see.
It's
Okay.
not.
I advise you start small, drill
Mhm.
them to the process, and then
Mhm.
the end product must be very small.
Okay.
Exactly.
Very small. How many sentences? Maybe 6.
Well,
Okay.
well, look, sometimes, I mean, an argument and
Huh.
the support of the argument, let's say, for example, 4 sentences of a small paragraph can be a really good start.
Okay.
Don't do students so hard, so much. Okay.
Okay.
There should be a point of no return. You should tell them, everybody, before you finish this lesson, everybody must focus on and finishing this 4 sentence essay. Why do you think that? And please give me your reasons. If they can't
Okay.
give reasons, never mind. Tell them to write an example. Critical thinking is a machine in the brain. First, you
Okay.
put the machine, and then you make the machine work. Step by step.
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
you want, you can start with something small in week 2, and then another week 3, break time, week 5. You can continue like this. And then when you say that, yeah, my students, yeah, really, this 4 sentence, isn't it? If you shall we increase it a little bit?
Yeah. So you mean step by step? Yeah.
Exactly.
Gradually. Yeah. It's a
Exactly.
good idea.
Now, another point I'd like to tell you, if you have high achievers and low achievers in the same classroom, I advise you put high achievers together and low achievers together. However, increase the level of difficulty for high achievers. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
They need challenge. Challenge them.
Okay.
Challenge them. Push them. And then I'm
I
100%
always
sure
praise
that
them,
you will be
motivate
very
them.
happy.
It's okay.
However, wait.
Uh-huh.
However, for the
Okay.
low achievers, remember, if until you learn the process, you may have so many frustrating classes, okay, frustrating lessons. However, one day, they will get this critical thinking machine in their brain, and then you can focus on the end product. So when the lesson finishes, everybody will be producing something. Okay, thank you very much. Another
Thank
person.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Mohammed, I see your hand.
Thank you for your grant permission, sir. May I add some words?
Yes, please, of course.
Regarding this topic, the brother asked very fantastic questions. I think all the teachers in the classroom, they face the challenges and the problem, the same problem. But according to my mind, that the material of writing should be on projector based, save the time. Do not write much on the board because consume your time to explain more and more in classroom. But in here, recently I written an article about leadership style should be democratic, transformational, and not be autocratic. And in here in Balochistan, I'm from Gawadar. There's a small city called Basni, where I was related. Here I teach 100 students in one classroom, and I faced every day, every single day, these challenges. But I start my words in the 2 or 3 lines. I say that the concept should be clear of the students is good because we cannot manage all the because it's a public school and every student we should admit. So these problems are comes in the school system, but in Balochistan area, in a remote area, we face the bundle of problems, but we do not we face it. We do not lose. And you just explained it now. The answer of the brother asked the questions. I think, sir, it's a good way to the Ivory students from every country. We are they are teaching. They should simply clear the concept of the students and student center, as well as the Jean Piaget has explained it very well. So like this, we should do it. I think so. Thank you.
I thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words and kind participation. Really. Thank you very much. Okay, there is a question here in the chat. I see something. Just a minute. Yeah, here it is. BAFMK said that I have EFL students and not all of them are competent in critical thinking or expressing it in English. So I asked them to express in L1 or in Russian. This time, many students become active. On the other hand, English usage declines. Okay. Is this person here? Is this attendee here? Any ideas? Yeah, this person is here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, great. Yes, you are here. Okay. I don't think you have a critical thinking problem. I think you have a vocabulary and grammar problem. Okay. And also, I don't think that you have a participation problem because the students participate in the lesson, but not in English. So I advise you work on the necessary core vocabulary items before you start the class. Okay, you can talk about the grammar points that they need to use in that specific activity. Okay, however, that could be another point. Maybe the students don't want to, let's say, do the lesson in English. Okay, for that one, okay, I think you should use a rapport, the relation between you and the students, okay, and to come to some kind of a product. Okay, again, we come to the question of process or product. If the students are, I'm reading your message here, I'm looking there, okay, if the students are really good in expressing in their all L1 or in Russian, okay, you can, for example, start small. It can be maybe even one sentence, maybe individual words. Okay, maybe you want them to make a list. Or remember, the end product not only is something written, you can tell them to make a picture. You can bring your own crayons, the teacher's crayons to the classroom, and then you can make them make a picture of the topic or the topic as an end product. And then you can tell people, and you can ask your students to make a small presentation, 1 or 2 sentences about the picture. And then you just build up, okay, all this process in the student's mind. And then after some time, yeah, you can have really good critical thinking activities only in English. Okay, I hope this helped you. Anybody else? Okay, thank you very much. Then.
Thank you so much for putting in the time to show up for this session. I'm going to share a link with you all. Please make sure you fill it within 24 hours to receive your certificate.